Promo for Meghan Markle's long-awaited appearance on MasterChef Australia has just been released ahead of its...
And yet somehow the appearance has turned into master mess.
It is just as nauseating and as diabolical as you can imagine.
Markle is not that good at acting. And so
Meghan Markle's MasterChef appearance backfired. What was supposed to be a major win for her lifestyle brand quickly turned into something very different. Before the episode had even aired, critics were tearing apart the promo. Reports pointed to alleged backstage tension, and one unexpected word sparked a controversy that overshadowed the entire show. So what really happened? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this MasterChef appearance may have done more harm than good.
MasterChef Kitchen has never been short on surprises, but this one takes the cake.
Is everyone ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
For a moment, everything seemed to be lining up exactly the way Meghan Markle's team had hoped. A guest appearance on MasterChef Australia, one of the world's biggest cooking competitions, looked like the perfect chance to reinforce the image she has been building over the past year, not as a former actress or royal figure, but as someone whose new chapter revolves around food, entertaining, and everyday family life.
That's impressive. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised I didn't have some of Meghan's...
The reporting out of Australia was that Meghan had invited herself onto MasterChef Australia as a guest.
The appearance was filmed during Meghan's visit to Australia earlier this year, long before viewers ever saw the first promotional clips. On paper, it made perfect sense. She had already introduced audiences to her lifestyle series, With Love, Meghan, where home cooking, fresh ingredients, and hosting friends became central themes. Around the same time, her As Ever brand was beginning to take shape, promising products inspired by that same warm California lifestyle. A visit to the MasterChef kitchen felt like the next logical step, placing her in front of millions of viewers who already loved food.
Meghan Markle may have thought her appearance on Australian MasterChef would help, I guess, propel her image as a chef.
Do you love it how she just presents herself as like the everyday woman? I'm Meg, like I'm here in Australia, like I'm ready to go.
The show's producers seemed to treat the appearance as a major television event. Meghan wasn't simply dropping by for a quick cameo. She arrived as a surprise guest judge, greeted the contestants, introduced a basket of seasonal Australian ingredients, and challenged them to create dishes inspired by personal memories.
You know what this reminded me of immediately? Walking, Meghan strutting her way into the Balenciaga show.
Nurturing and love for my friends, family, my kids.
Oh, Meghan. Is that what you tell Harry? Is that what you say to Harry, you know, in between your conversations about how bad your finances are? That's my love.
Every part of the segment appeared carefully designed to connect her public image with cooking, hospitality, and family traditions. If everything landed the way it was supposed to, the episode could have given her lifestyle brand a huge boost. Instead of promoting a new product through another interview or social media campaign, she would be standing inside one of the most respected cooking franchises in the world. It looked like exactly the kind of exposure any new lifestyle brand would want. Then, one single word changed everything. But that wasn't the problem producers expected. The word everyone ended up talking about wasn't MasterChef. It wasn't cooking. It wasn't even Duchess. It was royalty. And almost overnight, that single word became bigger than the entire episode.
To reports, Meghan Markle made one of the co-hosts cry over the use of the word royalty, which is utterly bizarre as Meghan is obsessed with her own title.
According to multiple reports that surfaced after filming, Meghan's team had allegedly asked producers not to describe her as royalty during her appearance. That might have seemed like a small production detail behind the scenes, except one of the show's judges reportedly introduced her using royal language anyway. What should have been a routine television introduction suddenly became the center of a much larger conversation. Reports soon claimed the moment created awkward backstage tension.
You need to be able to sell yourself in this arena, and through this promo video, man, Meghan Markle proves again she can't sell this. she's really bad at acting.
Some outlets even suggested the judge felt uncomfortable after realizing the introduction may have crossed a line Meghan's team didn't want crossed. Other reports said she considered reaching out personally afterwards, but was advised to leave the matter to the production team instead. Meghan's representatives later denied there had been any issue, and it's important to note that many of these claims rely on unnamed sources that have not been independently confirmed. Still, by that point, the damage was already done. News stories weren't discussing the contestants or the cooking challenge anymore. Instead, they were asking why a guest introduced everywhere as the Duchess of Sussex would reportedly object to being described with the broader term royalty. Fair or unfair, that contradiction became the headline. Before anyone had watched a single full scene, the appearance had already become less about food and more about image, branding, and public perception. And once the promo clips were released, the conversation became even harder to control, because the promo that was supposed to calm the controversy ended up giving critics even more to talk about. Rather than shifting the focus back to the competition, the previews gave viewers something else to debate, and this time everyone could watch it for themselves. The short clips showed Meghan walking confidently into the MasterChef kitchen, greeting contestants, and explaining what cooking means to her. She described food as a love language, saying it was how she connects with family and friends, and how she shows care for the people closest to her.
Food and cooking to me is really a love language. I think it's such a great way to connect. It's something that can feel sentimental and meaningful, and it's how I show my nurturing and love for my friends, family, and my kids.
It was a warm message, and for viewers who enjoyed With Love Meghan, it fit perfectly with the image she has been building around home cooking and hospitality. But not everyone heard it the same way. Across social media, critics argued the delivery felt too polished and carefully rehearsed. Some described it as scripted, saying it sounded less like a spontaneous conversation and more like a speech they had heard before.
It comes across as so insanely forced, and it's a fool's errand at this point.
Others pointed out that the love language theme had already been a major part of With Love Meghan, making the MasterChef appearance feel like an extension of the same branding instead of something fresh. That split in opinion quickly became impossible to miss. Supporters saw someone who was warm, thoughtful, and consistent with her message. Critics saw someone trying too hard to sell an image. The result was the same either way. Instead of asking how the contestants would perform, people were arguing over Meghan's presentation, her delivery, and whether the appearance felt genuine. By now, the food challenge itself was slipping into the background. Before the episode had even aired, the biggest talking points were no longer the recipes or the competition, they were the words, the performance, and the image Meghan was trying to project. Then came the advice that divided viewers even more. But this is where the criticism became much harder to ignore. It was about the advice Meghan gave to the contestants. On the surface, her comments sounded positive and encouraging, but for many people watching, they also raised an unexpected question. Was she speaking as someone who understands the pressure of a cooking competition, or as someone promoting a lifestyle brand? During the preview, Meghan openly admitted that she doesn't enjoy cooking under pressure. Instead, she explained that she prefers a calm, relaxed kitchen where people can take their time and enjoy the experience.
There is a lot of pressure in this kitchen. I don't like to cook that way. I like to cook in a really relaxed fashion, so all I could say...
She encouraged them to have fun, keep a sense of humor, and, most importantly, cook from the heart. Those words fit perfectly with the image she spent months creating. From With Love Meghan to the launch of As Ever, her message has consistently centered on bringing people together through food, creating meaningful moments, and making the kitchen feel welcoming rather than stressful.
Competitors was to just remember to have fun, to keep a sense of humor about it, and to cook from the heart.
For supporters, that was exactly what they expected to hear. Critics, however, saw a disconnect. MasterChef isn't a casual dinner party. Contestants are racing against the clock, trying to avoid mistakes that could send them home. Some viewers argued they expected practical insight from a guest judge, something about technique, ingredients, timing, or balancing flavors. Instead, they felt they were hearing another collection of motivational phrases that sounded inspiring but offered little help inside a high-pressure competition. Even the smallest moments became talking points online. Meghan's smile smiled when she spotted edible flowers, one of the signature touches from her lifestyle series. She also proudly mentioned that her children enjoy Brussels sprouts, a harmless family story that somehow sparked another wave of online debate. Every detail, no matter how small, seemed to become part of the larger conversation, but none of those moments became the biggest headline, because the real controversy wasn't about food at all. The edible flowers, the lifestyle advice, and even the social media criticism all faded into the background once the biggest controversy took over. The moment people focused on the reported dispute over one word, the entire MasterChef appearance stopped being about cooking and started becoming a debate about identity. According to reports that surfaced after filming, Meghan's team objected to the use of the word royalty during her introduction. At the same time, however, the show continued to present her as the Duchess of Sussex, the title that has been attached to her public appearances for years.
Had MasterChef royalty in the kitchen before, but no one like this. Oh, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle!
That is where many viewers saw a contradiction, and it quickly became the biggest talking point surrounding the episode. Across social media and entertainment news, the same question kept appearing. If the royal title remains part of the promotion, why would the broader description of royalty reportedly become an issue? Some people argued there is an important difference between using an official title and describing someone as royalty. Others believed the distinction was confusing and only fueled more debate. Whatever the explanation, the discussion spread much faster than anything happening inside the MasterChef kitchen. It's also worth remembering that many of the Backstage claims came from anonymous sources, while Meghan's representatives denied there had been any disagreement. But by then, public opinion had already moved on. The facts were no longer the only story. The perception had become the story, and perception often travels much faster than clarification. Almost overnight, the conversation shifted away from ingredients, contestants, and cooking challenges. Instead, people were analyzing branding, public image, and whether Meghan was trying to balance two identities that no longer fit together as easily as they once did. The MasterChef appearance had become a case study in public relations instead of a celebration of food. And once that happened, viewers started looking at every scene differently. But the fallout was only beginning. Once the debate over the royal wording took over the headlines, viewers began watching the promotional clips for an entirely different reason. Instead of looking forward to the cooking challenge, many started searching for clues that might support or disprove the rumors circulating online. Reports claimed that a few lighthearted exchanges between Meghan and members of the MasterChef team never made the final edit. Other stories suggested that certain moments from filming had been left out because the personalities on set didn't quite connect. None of those claims have been confirmed by the production, and Meghan's representatives pushed back against the reports, insisting she had enjoyed filming and that there had been no backstage conflict. Even so, the denials did little to slow the speculation. By that point, the online conversation had developed a momentum of its own. Every newly released clip was analyzed frame by frame. Viewers questioned sudden camera cuts, lingering reactions from the judges, and brief moments that seemed to end abruptly. Some believed they were seeing evidence of careful editing, while others argued people were simply reading too much into ordinary television production. That shift changed the entire purpose of the episode before it had even aired. What was supposed to be a feel-good celebrity guest appearance had turned into something closer to an investigation. Rather than asking whether Meghan's advice would help the contestants, audiences were asking whether the finished episode would reveal signs of the rumored tension that had dominated the news cycle. And that created a problem no promotional campaign wants, because once people start looking for problems, they usually find something to debate. This MasterChef appearance was supposed to do one thing above all else: strengthen Meghan's lifestyle brand and introduce her to audiences in a fresh way. Instead, long before the full episode even reached television screens, the headlines had shifted almost entirely away from cooking. Instead of discussing the contestants, the recipes, or the challenge itself, people were debating image, branding, and whether Meghan's public persona has become too carefully managed. That may be the biggest lesson from this entire rollout. A guest appearance meant to celebrate food, family, and a new chapter ended up reopening many of the same debates that have surrounded Meghan for years. Instead of talking about the dishes, everyone was talking about the drama. And for a show that hadn't even aired yet, that may have been the biggest backfire of all. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this controversy was blown out of proportion, or did Meghan's MasterChef appearance create more questions than answers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone following the royal drama, and subscribe so you never miss our next deep dive. I'm Jane Exposé, and I'll see you in the next story.